You're listening to the LostTrailRunner Podcast, episode 131. Hey everybody, Ron here. Welcome to the LostTrailRunner Podcast. If this is your first time listening, then thanks for coming. The LostTrailRunner Podcast is produced every 2 weeks, maybe. At least that's my goal. The show notes are found at LostTrailRunner.com. Come back often and feel free to add the podcast to your favorite RSS feed or iTunes. You can also follow me on Twitter at LostTrailRunner and on Facebook. All links are in the show notes. Now let's get on with the show. Hey everyone. I'm in my kitchen once again. It's well after lunchtime. It's probably close to 3:30 in the afternoon, and I'm getting ready to have lunch. I was reading earlier and then realized that time had gone by. It's a weird time to be around, isn't it? I mean, I'm not really quarantined in my house, but I've pretty much stayed close to home for the past week, over a week, I guess now. And I went out to Stone Mountain and ran one day, but most of the time I've just been riding on my bike trainer using Zwift as a motivation. I've ridden in 2 group rides on Zwift this week and just 1 ride by myself. So in the 3 rides I got over 42 miles in, which is pretty high mileage for me on my bike. I mean, I haven't ridden the bike seriously in a long time, so it's kind of nice getting back to it. I mean, I like running, I like being out, but now, at the moment, it's very convenient to have a bike trainer that I can use like mine now. I upgraded it and got a interactive power unit put on it. My Kinetic Road machine had a fluid drive, and I ordered a power unit that it's electric and it'll sync with Zwift and it'll vary the resistance. So on Zwift, if I'm riding up a hill, the resistance on my bike trainer is going to get harder, like I'm pedaling uphill, based on what degree, it is that I'm going up. So that's pretty cool. And of course it makes it harder to work out because, going up a 6-degree incline is harder than riding flat, right? And I mean, it tensions down on you, so you got to shift gears if you want to continue going anywhere. I just fried a couple of pieces of ham, made me a ham sandwich, and I'm having some kettle cooked sea salt and vinegar potato chips. Very healthy meal, right? So that's what I'm having. And coffee. Always having coffee. I usually drink about at least probably 3 cups a day. I don't know that that's a great amount. I usually make some in the morning and then kind of drink it all day long, a little bit at a time, because I'm not a big, I don't chug it down. I kind of sip it, leave my cup, forget about it, then have to go put it in the microwave and heat it back up again. And I do that all day long. Oh, when I went out to Stone Mountain and ran on the trail the other day, there wasn't many people out there. Everybody that was out there was exercising, though, because all the attractions are closed down. The only thing, the park is open for, exercise, but that's about it. The golf course, there's 2 golf courses out at Stone Mountain, and one of them's closed. They're alternating one each day, and I don't know how they're dealing with sending people out. If they're sending people out in separate carts, that's what they're probably doing, is sending individuals out in one cart so that they don't have to be close to other people. So today is Saturday, the 28th of March, and I signed up for a virtual 5K for this week on Final Surge software. That's where my training gets put. When Chris Twiggs does my training, they have a virtual 5K to be done this week, anytime from Monday through Sunday, I think it was, and today's the day I'm going to go run it. Now, I don't know if it's going to be a virtual 5K on the trail out at Stone Mountain or a virtual 5K at Mountain Park on the exercise loop. I guess I'll go by there and see how busy it is, because some of those parks like that, everybody and their brother is going to the park, so that social distancing thing's out of, it's just kind of non-existent when it should be. I'm going to go set my food down and come back and get the mic, okay? Okay, I got my Zoom H2 on a little tripod, so I can just set it down and talk. I'm in my den now. I'm going to put it down here next to my chair, and I'm going to sit down in my chair and eat my lunch. So I guess what I'll do is shut off the microphone and then come back in a little while and talk to you some more. Okay? Okay, I'm back. I'm in my car. I've got the AC cranked up, so you probably hear that in the background. And I'm on my way to either Mountain Park or Stone Mountain. Just depends on the crowd at Mountain Park. If it's fairly empty, I'll go there and run. I've got a 5K virtual race today from Final Surge, and I'm just going to run it as a time trial. I'm not going to worry about racing it. I'm just going to do a probably run 40 seconds, walk 20 seconds, and see how that goes. I've got my Garmin today, and I've got it programmed for a 10-minute warm-up and then 5K. So I'll have more than a 5K on here, which will work out fine. Going through the neighborhood, there's not a whole lot of anybody out. No cars out on the road, no people in the yards, no people walking or anything like that I see. I thought maybe they might be out, getting some exercise, but apparently not.
But I think this is an older neighborhood too, so these people are my age and they don't do stuff like that. Only I'm the insane one, right? So I'm probably about 3 miles from Mountain Park right now, and we'll see how it goes. I don't have a good feeling about being able to run very fast, because doing that almost 16-mile bike ride yesterday on the bike trainer, trying to catch up to everybody in that group, kind of burned my legs out a little bit. And that was almost, and that was 58 minutes. I started 2 minutes late. So I had a 58-minute bike ride, and it shouldn't have really, here we go with excuses, right? It shouldn't have really bothered me that much, because I was looking at my heart rate, and I still didn't get my heart rate over about 110 probably during the ride. I don't think my average was probably about 100 beats per minute, which is the zone that I want to be in for doing this MAF type training. So like a hour workout at 100, that's good. The thing about it is I averaged 16 miles an hour, which is much better than I thought I was going to average. And being in a controlled environment like that, when I do these rides, I'll be able to tell if I'm improving, if I'm actually going faster at the same heart rate, as I get more into shape. I know that MAF training works like that, and I've always thought that that's how it should work, but I really have never got to that point. I think for one reason is most of my runs are not longer runs, where with MAF I think you're doing more endurance long runs to build up your aerobic base, where I was doing more shorter runs. So I was just kind of holding my own and not really building it up. Does that make sense? I don't know if that's even true. I don't know how it works. So doing it on the bike, we'll be able to find out if actually my fitness is getting better and I'm going faster on the bike at the lower heart rate. So we'll see how that goes. But I'll certainly be glad when this virus thing's over, because it's just depressing, I guess, because I live at home since my wife passed away in 2017. It's just been me and my kids. 2 of them live over near Carrollton, Georgia, which is almost to the Alabama border. And my daughter, Laura, she lives almost to the very far east, the South Carolina border is like a half mile from her house. She lives on Lake Hartwell, and the border's out in the middle of the lake. So 2 of them are over in Alabama side. 1 of them is on the South Carolina side, and my youngest son lives up in Roswell, which is about 20 miles north of me. So nobody's right next door type. So it's like when I want to see somebody, it's going to be a major trip. So with this, I keep wanting to say quarantine. It isn't quarantine, because we're not, trapped in our houses. We can go out. We just need to stay away from people. But it doesn't make you want to do a whole lot of anything other than go out and run, to get out in the fresh air and maybe go to the grocery store and get some food. Or toilet paper if they have any. I haven't even looked for toilet paper, because fortunately, when this thing happened, I had about 6 rolls. This is kind of a stupid thing to talk about in a podcast, isn't it? But anyway, I have been in good shape on that count, and I've got enough food to last me probably another week or two, so I really don't need to go to the grocery store. I've got 12-pack of Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, and I've got a black box full of Merlot wine. So I don't drink that much, so that'll carry me over for 6 months. I'll be good there. Anyway, having ridden 2 group rides on Zwift this past week, and then doing this virtual race today is keeping me occupied. And the group I joined on Zwift, the ZHCC group from the UK, they have a virtual group ride, I think, every day of the week. So I can always jump into a ride. And I'm going on the ones that are for beginners, basically. They have categories A through E on Zwift. So I guess A's are like professionals almost, but E's, I feel most comfortable there. It's like beginner, but it's not really beginner. I mean, there are people that are on there that are riding 20 miles an hour, I'm riding about 16, 17 miles an hour, something like that. So, and we'll see how this bicycling translates over to my running. When I ran out on the trail at Stone Mountain earlier this week, I was thinking, man, my legs are sore. And it's the quads, because that's what you use when you're biking, You're not using your hamstrings so much. So my quads have been taking a beating because they haven't been used that much in the past. And we'll see today. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of people here. I see 3, 4 cars at the park in this area. Now there's another lot where probably the majority of people would park if they were playing tennis or whatever they're doing, because there's tennis courts here. So, okay, I've got here to Mountain Park. This is where I'm going to do my run. So I'll report back to you after I get over this run. Okay, we'll see you. Bye. Hey everybody, I'm back. I'm sitting in my den again. I ended up going to Mountain Park. If you remember, I said I didn't know whether I was going to go to Mountain Park or Stone Mountain to do my run today, because I was going to do a 5K. So I went by, got a message on my phone. Did you hear the little thing? Went by Mountain Park, and there weren't that many cars, so I decided that would be the place to go because it's closest to my house, and it's about a mile loop. So it's just I just ran a 10-minute warm up, and then the 5K I was going to run, and I mean, I wasn't a rocket out there. And it's difficult for me to, like in the past couple of 5K races that I ran, I averaged right at little over 11 minutes a mile, which for me, being 78 years old, is pretty quick for me. I don't know about anybody else. So today, my first mile of the 5K was a 12:24. The second mile was a 12:25. And the third mile was a 12:35. And then my last 10th was a 12:38. So the overall average for my whole run, counting the 10-minute warm up. What did I say time up for? Counting the 10-minute warm up, my overall pace was a 12:53. I got the workout in. I figured I probably was going to end up running slower because of the almost 16-mile bike ride I did yesterday on Zwift. So I was right. I could feel it in my quads. And even though, the hamstrings are probably more important when you're running, I guess quads are too, but I could feel it in my quads because I use those biking. Anyway, I didn't feel too bad about that time trial because another thing is when I'm running by myself, it's very difficult for me to run fast. I just can't do it. It's like, I don't know, no motivation, I guess. But I wore my Nike, what are those things called? Infinity React somethings. Let me see if I can find what the name of them is here. Nike React Infinity Run. That's what they are. They're pretty decent shoe. They got a higher drop than I'm usually running in. I usually run in a 4 to 6 millimeter drop, but these are 8 millimeter, I believe, and I haven't had any problem with them. But I just like a lower drop, or with my Ultras, a 0 drop. But I usually wear Hokas or Ultras, and I have some Nikes, 2 pairs of trail shoes. I've got Terra Kiger 5s and Terra Kiger 6s, and both of those are 4 millimeter drop. Anyway, I just want to let you know that I got that workout in at Mountain Park. It's getting late, so I'm going to finish up the podcast and publish it and get it on out to you. So I'll talk to you the next time. Bye.
Hey, thanks for listening to today's podcast. We'll be here next time. Keep the emails coming in and be sure to subscribe.